Izzy and welcome back to the channel. Sorry we've got some kind of iffy lighting going on here. It's like genuinely pitch dark outside, like it's so dark outside even though it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. So I've got some lights on over here, I've got a window over here, so I mean you can see me. I'll probably try and brighten it in like post edit and we'll just hope for the best. But in today's video I am going to be ranking every series I've read. I really enjoyed doing my ranking Percy Jackson character video, so I wanted to rank more things, and this was 100% inspired by Hannah, A Clockwork Reader's video. I'll link it down below. And I just really wanted to do this because I just want to rank everything. I have 84 series, so I'm going to try and be real quick. We're not going to spend any time like telling you what it's about or anything. It's just going to be, does it suck or does it not? And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. These are not like every series I've ever read in my entire life. This is just pretty much every series I have recorded on Goodreads, which is in about the last 4 years. And also I haven't included every single series because there were a few I just didn't really care about and just left out. And also I'm just including any series I've started, so even if I've only read the first book I'm still including it because it counts as a series. And yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore, we're going to get started and I'm going to rank things, and my opinion is the correct opinion. Okay, so we've got God Tier, which is like my favourite series of all time, would die for them. The next is Great Tier, which is like amazing series, but like they didn't entirely change my life. Then we've got Good Tier, which is like enjoyable series, I had a good time. Then we've got Average Tier, which is just like, it was okay. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was average. Wow, I'm so smart. And then we have Bad Tier, which is like, I really didn't like it. And then we have Devil Tier, which is the opposite of God Tier in the fact that I hate them and want to burn it. Not that I would ever burn a book, but you know, I feel the want. So we're gonna get started because we have so many to get through. So I'm looking over here because that's where my laptop is, so that's why I'm not looking directly at the camera, obviously. So the first we've got here is Orphan Monster Spy, which is a historical fiction series. I've only read the first book because the second one only came out like in February or something. I'm going to put this in Good Tier. It was a good time. Keeper of the Lost Cities, does that get to Great Tier? I've read the first 2 books, there's like 9 of them. It's like a middle grade fantasy series. I think it's great. You know what? I'm gonna leave it in Great Tier for now. We're gonna see how busy Great Tier gets. I don't know. A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that's my idea of hell. So it can only go in Devil Tier, because if I was forced to read A Court of Mist and Fury again, I would literally rather go to hell. So that's how I feel about that series. Then we have Illuminae, which I read the entire series of, and was it good or average? I'm gonna say good. It was good. There were things I didn't like, but it's a cool sci-fi series and I read the whole thing, so you know. Then we have The Maze Runner, which I loved. I think I read it when I was like maybe 13, so like 8 years ago. Was it out then? I think so. And I really enjoyed the first book, and then I didn't read the second book until like 2 years ago, and like that was fine. Do I put it in Bad Tier? Yeah, to be honest, it's not great, and if I read it now I think I'd hate it. Then we have The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, which is like a contemporary series where this girl wants to be with 2 brothers and she's like, she has to decide between the 2 brothers and it's so tragic. This is going in Bad Tier. I hate it. I read it when I was quite young, and so I didn't like despise it, but even like 15-year-old me didn't like it, so that's really saying something. Then we have Labyrinth Lost. I've read the 2 books that are out so far. Loved the first one. The second one was just okay. But I'm going to put it in the good tier because the first one was really good. Strange the Dreamer. This is hard because this is a duology in which I thought the first book was average, but I thought the second book was god tier. So like, where do I put it? I'm going to put it in great because I feel like it averages it out. Like, Muse of Nightmares was so good, like it just brought Strange the Dreamer up into great tier. I mean, Muse of Nightmares is a masterpiece, and like, fight me. Then we have Call Down the Hawk, which is the spin-off series to the Raven Cycle. There's only 1 book out so far. It's going in great tier. Great tier is already getting kind of busy. Then we have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I've only read the first book, I haven't read the second one that came out like last year. I was one of the few people that found it average. I gave it 3 stars, I think, when I read it. It was fun. It wasn't anything more than that, really. So it's just going in average. Then The Never Tilting World by Rin Chupeco. I think there's only 1 book out so far. I've read the first book, and again, I'm going to put it in average tier. Like, it wasn't bad, but there wasn't a whole lot I liked about it. Then we have The Devouring Grey, which I'm currently reading the second book of. I'm enjoying it so far. Seems a little bit similar to the first one, so I need something else to kind of happen. But I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm going to put it in good tier. Then we have Vicious by V. Schwab, which is a duology of which I've read both books. First one I liked, the second one I liked more, but I feel like I'm in the minority in saying like it's good. I like it, but I don't like love it. Then we have 3 Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake. I didn't like the first book and I quite enjoyed the second book, and then I started the third book and like couldn't get through it, but that could have just been like a mood thing. So I will be trying the third book again at some point, but like, it's average. It just has nothing special. It doesn't have any flavour. I need more flavour for it to go up. Then we have The Darkest Minds, which is kind of a booktuber classic. Like, The Darkest Minds was very popular back in the day, and I only read it in 2018, so I was real late to the party, but I actually really enjoyed it, so it's going in good tier. I think it was a good series. I think it was good, okay? Fight me, like, I enjoyed it. It's one of the few series that is actually still good now, I think. Then we have Bonds of Brass by Emily Skrutsky. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I've only read the first book because there's only the first book out. I enjoyed it. It's going in good tier. Then we have These Witches Don't Burn, which is not that popular a book. I think people like hyped it up too much, and then when people actually read it, like, it wasn't as good as what they'd like hyped it up to be. But I liked it. I haven't read the second one because it doesn't come out till June, I don't think. But I liked it, so it's also going in good tier. Or is it going in average tier? No, it's better than, it's going in good tier. A Study in Charlotte, also going in good tier. I've only read the first book. There are a total of 4 books, which I do plan to get to, but they're kind of hard to get hold of in the UK. Like, they're not in any libraries or anything, and there's no audiobooks, and like, the paperback's kind of expensive, so I just haven't continued with it yet. Then we have The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I would put in great tier because I really did like the book, but due to recent controversy about the author, she's going in average tier because we support better authors than that. Then we have This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. Again, I was someone who just kind of found this average. It's a duology. I read both books. It was okay. Is it as bad as 3 Dark Crowns? Yeah, I don't really care about it, so it's staying there. Shadow and Bone is also going in average tier. I actually didn't hate the Grisha trilogy, which seems to be an unpopular opinion, but I actually had a good time reading it. Is it like something I want to reread? Not particularly, which is why it's going in average tier, because anything from like good tier and above I would reread or have reread, whereas like average tier and below I don't really care to reread unless I'm like rereading it for the purpose of reading the second book if I've just like forgotten. Then we have Anna and the French Kiss, which devil tier. Do I need to explain? I don't think so. Then there are 3 books in that series. I read all 3. Don't know why. Then we have Caraval, which I've read 2 of 3 books. Is there 3 of them? Didn't particularly enjoy it, so is it as bad as The Summer I Turned Pretty? No, but it's also not as good as Shadow and Bone and This Savage Song, so it's staying in bad tier. Then we have Truly Devious, which is a well-loved mystery series on BookTube. I, however, found it rather boring. And I gave the first book 2 stars, the second book 4 stars, and the third book 3 stars, I think. So I had a lot of thoughts, but I guess it's average. Like, it's not bad, so it's gonna stay in average. Then we have The Midnight Lie, of which only one book is out so far, but I really enjoyed that one book, so it's going good, and it has like almost god tier sapphic romance, so if that continues, the second book could be getting up there because Sid and Nirim, blessed. Then we have Not Your Sidekick by C.B. Lee, which I've read the first book. I really wanted to enjoy this book, but I just found it very boring. And like, I don't know, I just didn't vibe with it, which is weird because I love superheroes, so I thought it was going to be like a win for me, but it wasn't. So, is it bad? Yeah, it's bad. I really wanted to like it. Then we have The Raven Boys. It's our first god tier, guys. Look, I know the Raven cycle isn't perfect, but that series of 4 books, like, literally, it was a religious experience, and I'm not even religious, but like, that book was just chef's kiss. Like, it's just, I love it, and I get why some people don't, but I will not back down from putting that in god tier. So it's going in god tier, and I would literally die for all my children. It's like Ronan, Gansey, Adam, Blue, would die for all of them, like without hesitation. Even Opal, like I'm ready, like I will sacrifice myself. Then we have The Thief, which is like, is it quite devil tier? Probably not, but it was the most boring thing I've ever read. It was under 300 pages and it literally felt like it was 800 pages. Then we have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which I'm putting in bad tier. I've read the first 2 books out of 3. Or I think there's more now, because didn't she make like a spin-off book? I don't even know. But I didn't like it. The second book sucked. So, oh guys, we're getting to our second god tier series. Like, can we just take a second to appreciate Sabaa Tahir? She's just like an icon. Like, what did we do to deserve her? Nothing. She's incredible. The fourth and final book that's coming out in December is literally gonna murder me, and like, bring it on. I've got my tissues, I'm ready to sob for like 5 hours. It's cool. I've just realised I need less god tier series because that's gonna fill up quick. Oops. Foundry Side is god tier. I've read the first book. I have the second book. I got an arc of it. It's out now anyway, but I haven't been well enough to read it, which is tragic because it's like one of my most anticipated books of the year and I can't wait to read it, and I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm like positive it's going to be great and I can't wait to read it. Then we have Dangerous Remedy, which is an arc I read. It's not out yet, but it's coming out. I think the release date got pushed because of the coronavirus, so I think it's coming out in like August now, maybe? I'm not sure. I loved the first book. It's one of my favourite books like ever. We're going to put it in god tier. It might have to move down to great tier depending on how many god tier books we have. Then we have The Demon King. I only read the first book of this series. I don't even know what it's called, but like it was so boring and so long and so confusing. Don't read it. The False Prince. I read this series purely because I'd run out of audiobooks and this was the only one left. So I just read it out of necessity. It was bad. It was bad. Like, was it? It wasn't as bad as A Court of Mist and Fury, so it's not going in Devil tier. But then we have Jacoby again. I kind of just read this because it was there. It was just very meh, but like worse than average. So Girls of Paper and Fire, great tier, love it so much. Lay and Ren literally could punch me in the face and I'd thank them. Literally, like, so good. I need to read the second book. Keep bullying me into it because I swear to God I need to read it and I won't read it because I have too many things to read. Obsidian is a series that was very popular in like, I want to say like 2015-ish. I think I read the first 2 books. They were okay. I mean, but they were not anything special. Heartstopper, god tier. Like, let's be real. Unearthly was like one of the first series that got me into young adult and I will be forever grateful to it. And yeah, it's kind of trash, but it's also kind of good. So it's going in good tier just for pure nostalgia and the fact that it doesn't suck. Like, it's still kind of good. There's a dumb love triangle, but you know, not every book can be perfect. Then we have The Diviners. Let's play a game. 3, 2, 1. Which tier is he gonna put The Diviners in? Do I even need to say at this point? Like, is it not just like my brand? I think I should actually rebrand my channel and just call it Izzy Loves The Diviners, because I swear to God that's all I talk about. So it's going in God tier. Really, it like should have its own tier, but I can't be bothered to make that, so we're just gonna stick it in God tier. The Guinevere Deception I sadly did not like. Is it no, it's not as bad as A Court of Mist and Fury. Just like The Diviners should have its own tier above God tier, A Court of Mist and Fury should have its own tier even below Devil. Like, below Devil. That's how much I hate it. Then we have the like Book Wanderer series. I think there's 2 books out. I've read the first one. It's cute middle grade, but it's average. Then we have Serpent and Dove. I've only read the first book because there's only 1 book out. I kind of liked it at first, but then after thinking about it, it's average at best. And that's me being generous. We Set the Dark on Fire. Great tier. Duology, read both books. Gave the first one like 4 stars and the second one 5 stars. Loved it so much. Like Carmen and Danny, that sapphic romance, like, what did we do to deserve it? Then we have This Mortal Coil. This is a sci-fi series. The 3rd book I think came out this year. I've read the first 2. Bad tier. Or does it belong in Devil? No, I don't think it's quite Devil level. That rhymes. Then we have The Potion Diaries, which is a book I read like 5 years ago. I remember nothing about it really, to be honest. It's just gonna go in bad tier. I only read the first book. Then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I love so much. And the second book I have on pre-order, which I'm very excited about. But I don't think it's quite God tier for me yet. But it is incredible. So, I don't know. Maybe it should be in God tier. I can't decide. Then we have King of Scars, which I thought was great. And you can fight me for that, but it was good. I liked it. Y'all are just wrong, okay? Wrong. Then we have The Knife of Never Letting Go, which is a trilogy. I've read the first book. I've got the second and third book, so I do plan to read them at some point. But it's not calling my name, you know? So it's going in average, because it's not just like, I need to read the second book. It's like, it was okay. Then we have Lady Midnight, which I recently finished. It's going in bad tier. Is it Devil tier? No, not quite. But I do hate it. It was so boring. Then we have The Last Magician, which is going good tier. The 3rd book I think is coming out this year. I've only read the first book so far. but I liked the first book, but I don't have the other books, so we're gonna have to wait to read that. Then we have The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the like Elder Curses series. I don't know how many books are gonna be in it, but I know the second one's coming out in like September and I'm so excited. Is it God tier? I'm gonna put it in great tier for now, but I do love it a lot. This is so hard. I did not realise like how hard it was to rank things. Then we have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I'm gonna put it in good tier. It has the potential to move up to great tier or even God tier with the coming books. There's only one out so far. But like it kind of slapped. And also Alex, I would let her run me over and I would still thank her. Like, she can come for me. Then we have City of Ghosts, which I don't know how many books are going to be in it, but there's 2 books out so far. I've read both. It was good. I really like that series. Not enough people have read it because it's middle grade, but I had a great time. Then we have Percy Jackson. Again, do I even need to say? Do I? We all know that I'm a hoe for Percy Jackson. Why can I not? There we go. It's in God tier, where it belongs. Then we have Shatter Me, Devil tier, purely for Ignite Me. The first 2 were okay, but Ignite Me, I swear to God, it ignited nothing but fury in my bones. And maybe it ignited the whole of hell, because that's why it's on fire, because Ignite Me was so bad. I hated it so much. I'm sorry, Shatter Me stans, don't come for me. You can like it, but I hate it. To be honest, I feel bad for that just because I know Whitney from Whitney Novels loves it so much and I don't like it and I feel like I've let her down. Anyway, we have The Kiss of Deception. Is there 3 books? I don't know. I read the first one. It sucked. Then we have Sleeping Giants, which is a sci-fi trilogy in which I loved the first 2 books, but I think the 3rd book was trash. So I'm guessing it's gonna go in good tier because like the first 2 books were strong enough to carry the weight of disappointment that was the 3rd book. So then we have Vampire Academy. I've read either 3 or 4 of the books like 4 or 5 years ago. I enjoyed them when I read them, but it's way too long. Like, how did she make 6 books out of this series? I will never know. But I don't think it was terrible. So it's going in average tier. Then we have Warcross. This is a duology. And I've only read the first book and I didn't love it. And I heard like the second book's like way worse than the first book. So if I didn't love the first book, I'm not going to enjoy the second book clearly. So it's average. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't good. Then we have Harry Potter, which like, sorry to be a basic bitch, but like, it's going in God tier. I can't not put it in God tier, okay? Also, The Hunger Games. That book slaps, and I think it's God tier because it, or is it great tier? Because the 3rd book kind of was a letdown. So like, did the first 2 books carry? I think I'm going to put it in great tier because it's just such a classic. I love it so much. I reread it 2 years ago and I loved it just as much as I did when I read it like 50 billion times when I was like 13. So then we have Rebel of the Sands. I think this is a trilogy. I read the first book. It sucked, so it's going in bad tier. Then we have The Kane Chronicles by Rick Riordan, which, surprise, surprise, it's good tier. It's not on Percy Jackson's level, but it's still good, so it's going there. Then we have Chain of Gold, which is the first book in the Last Hours trilogy. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. And it's good. Like, not gonna lie, I loved it. But it's not quite God tier yet. but it could get there. It's not quite God tier, but it's pretty damn good. Then we have Cry as the Wall, which is a duology. The second book is coming out in the latter half of this year. I loved the first book. It depends on the second book, but it's gonna go in great tier because it's great. Then we have A Darker Shade of Magic. Is that God tier? That's so hard. Is it God tier? I'm going to put it in God tier and just see how it goes. So we have to keep moving it. This computer is testing my patience. But then we have Every Heart a Doorway by Charlotte Maguire, which I really like, but it is a bit of a hit and miss series for me in that there's been 5 books and I've really loved 3 of them and not enjoyed as much the other 2. So I'm going to put it in good tier because it's pretty good, but it's not, it just needs to be more consistent. Then we have 6 of Crows. I have no other comments. Then we have Half-Blood, which is a book I read the first, which is a series I read the first book of like 4 years ago, I think, so I don't remember that much about it. All I remember is that it's a complete rip-off of Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. Like, it's literally the same book and it belongs in the devil tier. Then we have The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. It's not quite great tier because I didn't love all the books, but it's good. Then we have Confessions of a Shopaholic. I think I read like, I don't even know, like 5 of these books or something. I don't really remember much about it. I think it was funny, so I'm putting in average tier. I've just realised Magnus Chase somehow got missed out of these pictures, but just know if Magnus Chase was here, because I can't be bothered to go and get it, the picture of it, it's in great tier. That series is so good. Then we have The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which again I think has 3 books, but I've only read the first one. I enjoyed it, but it didn't like blow my mind. But was it? It was kind of better than Serpent and Dove, but was it as good as Trials of Apollo? It's staying in average tier because it just didn't leave a lasting impact on me, so we gotta be picky here. Then we have Nevermore. Read it. It's so good. There's 2 books out so far. I think it's set to be like 6 books, and honestly I want it to be like 60. Like, I would just read it forever. No joke. I would just, it's so good. Read it. Everyone is sleeping on it and rude. Then we have The Selection by Kiera Cass, which it's trash, but it's kind of fun trash. So I'm gonna put it in bad tier because I didn't like hate my experience of reading it, because sure it sucked, but like I still had a fun time reading it, even though America is like the most annoying protagonist of all time. Then we have Cinder, the like Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, which I loved when I read it. I haven't reread it in a while. Like, I think I finished Winter, the 4th book, in 2017 or maybe even 2016. I don't know, but I really loved it when I read it. It was like my favourite conclusion novel like ever, but now I think it's good. I think it's in the good tier. Before it would have been great, maybe even God tier, but I think now I've read so many more books, it's like it's not quite there. Then we have the Mortal Instruments series. I read all 6 books and I have no idea why, because they just kept getting worse. Like, I don't know if this is weird, but I actually liked the first book best, and then I hated all the other books. So it's the devil tier. I just couldn't leave it not finished. I just wanted to know what happens because everyone talks about it all the time and I just wanted to be part of the club, okay? Then we have Divergent, which is going in bad tier because it sucks, but it didn't make me angry. Like, I enjoyed it when I read it for the first time, whenever it came out, and I reread it in 2018 and it sucked. So it's going in bad tier, but like for nostalgia, it's not quite Devil. Then we have Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. The first 2 books are out. I've read them both. The first book is God tier, but the second book is not quite there, so we're gonna leave it in great tier because it has the potential to be God tier. It's so close to being God tier, but it's just not quite God tier. Then we have If I Stay, which is bad. Like, I didn't hate the first book, but I hated the second book so much. Like, it still makes me angry. So is it Devil tier? No, the first book wasn't Devil tier, so we're gonna leave it there. Then we have the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. Is that God tier? You know what? It is God tier. It's God tier. I can't, like, what am I supposed to do about it? Then we have Pretty Little Liars, which I read the first 2 books. I think my sister read like all of them, but I only read like 2 of them because then I just wanted to read other things. It was like, I'm putting in bad here because even like 16-year-old Izzy wasn't entertained by the books, and that's saying something because 16-year-old Izzy was entertained by like anything. I do love the TV series though. It was my life when it was on. Then we have To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which yes, has its flaws, but to me, it's God tier because like it just holds such a special place in my heart and is like my go-to comfort read. Like, oh, they're just so comforting. I love it. And then we have The Final Empire, like the Mistborn trilogy. I've only read the first book and now it's been so long I kind of forgot what happened, so I don't want to read the second book, but the first book's like 600 pages and it's like, do I want to reread that and then read like a 700 page? It's stressful. But I'm gonna put that in average tier. I guess it's good tier, but like I just don't really care about it all that much, so I'm gonna put it in good tier because I don't know, it's going in good tier. We can't have reasons for everything. But now, like, going along my God tier row, I think I'm going to move Dangerous Remedy down to great tier. I'm sure it's going to move up to God tier with following books, but I don't think it's just, like, quite there yet. So it's going to stay in great tier because, like, it's not on the same level as, like, all the other series in that row. But there we go. That is as quick as I could talk about every series I've ever read. Well, not every series I've ever read, but a lot of the series I've read in my time. I forgot Magnus Chase, just imagine it's in great tier. And there we have it. There's me ranking every series that's not every series I've ever read. I hope this video was somewhat entertaining. I had a great time because I have a very strong opinion about most things, so ranking things is like where I was meant to be in life. Like, is it my job? It should be. But yeah, that was actually kind of fun. If you want to do it. It's fun. This is a lot of series. To be honest, I'm impressed I got through them so fast, but you can basically see my reading taste from this tier ranking, so it's actually kind of useful. I should just like put this on like my like Twitter like header should just be this, I swear. And yeah, I can't really think of any other ranking videos to do because I can't like rank every book I've read because I have like 450 on Goodreads alone and that's not even every book I've ever read. So obviously we would be here for like 5 hours. But if you want me to rank anything else, please let me know. I would be more than happy to because I love giving my opinion. If you like want me to rank like books in a series, like the Harry Potter books or something, or like every Rick Riordan book, if you want me to rank it. Oh wait, I already did that. leave it in the cards. But yeah, I love ranking things, so tell me what I should rank next, because I've run out of ideas. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if this was dark and or not entertaining. I hope it was. Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm just impressed I did it so quickly. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and that you're safe and well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone here. If you want to see more of me, you can follow me on Twitter, Bookstagram and Goodreads. I'm very active on all of those platforms, so check me out over there. If you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It's lovely to have you here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!